Welcome to the Darkest Dungeon mod spotlight, where I will showcase a modded hero and explain their mechanics. Today we will be taking a look at the Werewolf, created by O Nightmare. The Werewolf is a shape-shifting monster, much like the Abomination, although she has embraced being a killer. Now she puts her talents to good use for gold and blood. Werewolf is a powerful frontline damage dealer with lots of riposte and bleed. First, let's go over her stats. She has above average health, speed, and a lot of bleed resistance. And she has higher than normal death blow resistance at 73%. She has below average crit and below average debuff resistance. And she's pretty average in just about everything else. Now, let's take a look at the werewolf skills. This is where things get a little complicated. The werewolf is a modal fighter, like the Abomination. She starts in human form, and using some of her skills, she can change between the two forms. When she is in werewolf form, she gains 3 stress a turn, and she always has riposte active. This riposte does 45% less damage, and it applies a bleed effect to anyone she riposts. Her first skill is Bloodshed Claws. It hits the front 2 enemies of the enemy team, both of them, and it does minus 45% damage and applies a debuff of 20 to 33% bleed debuff for 3 turns. As a human, it has a 130% chance to move the werewolf forward. This is affected by your movement resist. It also has a 70% chance to change into your beast mode, and a 70% chance to activate your riposte. That riposte is the riposte when you're in beast mode. These chances are linked together. If you transform into a beast, you get riposte. If you don't transform, you don't get riposte. The riposte also has 0 to 20 accuracy bonus with scaling with rank, and 0 to 2% crit modifier, and it applies, the bleed it applies is a 1 to 3 point bleed for 3 turns. As a beast, you apply a 2 to 4 point bleed for 3 turns with Bloodshed Claws.
Another one falls.
The werewolf's second ability is Horrendous Roar. It can only be used in human form, and it cannot be used in the first position, and it can be used against any position of the enemy team. This can be really useful to hit those back row characters. It has a damage modifier of minus 30%, and it shuffles your target as well as shuffling them for the next 2 turns. It has the same chance to transform yourself into Beast as Bloodshed Claws at 70%, and activates the same riposte. The werewolf's third ability is Taunt. It can only be used as a human, and you mark yourself for 2 turns. When you use Taunt, that debuff self marking prevented, it's just a cooldown that prevents you from using Taunt again for 2 more turns. It clears the guarded effect off of yourself. If someone was guarding the werewolf, then it goes away. And you activate Riposte for 2 turns with 0 to 20 accuracy bonus and 0 to 2 crit. And every time you riposte, you have a 35% chance to transform into werewolf form. The werewolf's final human form ability is Smoke Bomb. It targets the front 3 allies of your team, it clears Mark off of any of them, and it buffs their dodge by 8 to 17% for 3 turns. And it deals 1 damage to each of them. Werewolf's first beast-only attack is Feast. It can target all of the enemies at the same time, and it has a -5 base accuracy. We'll get to that in a second. It does -45% damage, and it can never crit. It transfers Blight from all your targets to yourself, so don't eat poison food. It clears all corpses, and here's the kicker. Against bleeding targets, it has 90 to 110 bonus accuracy. So the idea is you apply bleed using your post or bloodshed claws, and then you can hit all targets that are bleeding to do some extra damage and heal yourself. It has a pull on the werewolf with 130 base chance that you can resist with your movement resist, just like bloodshed claws in human form. And it heals yourself for 12 to 20% per target that you hit. And you have a 20% chance to change back into human form when you use Feast. Werewolf's next ability is Headbutt. It can only be used from the front 2 positions, but hits the front 3 of the enemy team. It moves you back 1. It always moves you back 1, as opposed to the pull on Bloodshed Claws and Feast. It has a 45% damage penalty. It has a stun with strong scaling. And it has a 20% chance to change yourself back to human form. The werewolf's final ability is Regain Humanity. You heal yourself for 5 to 9 stress, which is reduced by 65% if you are in position 1. So the idea is that you would use Headbutt or something else to move yourself back before turning back into human form. You clear Mark and Blight on yourself. If you were guarding someone, such as with Antiquarian's Protect Me, then you stop guarding them. You guarantee to change yourself into human form, and you buff yourself by 12 to 20 dodge and 6 to 10 accuracy as long as you are in human form. At the end of every battle, if you are in beast mode, you will automatically use Regain Humanity to turn back into human form. So a good idea is to turn into beast form, and when the enemies are about to die, you have like 1 enemy left, you can use Headbutt to move back, finish them off, and then you'll turn back and get that stress heal. Werewolf has an interesting set of camping skills. The only common camping skill she has is Encourage. She has a unique version of Wound Care called Bandage, which has a 50% chance to heal an additional 8% health, and it only removes bleeding from the target. She has Hobby, which is an Encourage that only works on herself. She has Bite the Hand, which for 2 time points she can heal herself a huge amount and remove mortality debuffs, but everyone in your party has a chance of gaining extra stress, and whoever you bit takes 35% health damage and has a chance to bleed for 6 points total. Her next camping skill is Beast Within. For 3 time points, you gain 15% damage resistance as long as you are in beast form. So you take 15% less damage from all sources. and she gains 4 extra speed versus beasts. Her next skill is On the Prowl for 4 time points. She prevents nighttime ambush, and your party gains a buff for 4 battles that gives you 4 speed, 10 accuracy, and 5 crit for the first round only. This can be pretty good to get the jump on all your enemies. Her last skill is Gather Ingredients. For 1 time point, she attempts to craft the Cleansing Elixir. She has a chance to do nothing, she has a chance to get medicinal herbs, and she has a chance to craft the Cleansing Elixir. Now, what is the Cleansing Elixir? The Cleansing Elixir is a unique provision for the werewolf. You start with 1 just for bringing the werewolf along, and you can make additional ones using her camping skill, but otherwise you can't buy them from the shop. You can use it to remove stuns and marks from your entire party. Anyone can use it, and it'll affect your entire party. Some other things to know about the werewolf. She is non-religious. She benefits from the House of the Yellow Hand and the Performance Hall District. She has a unique virtue and a unique affliction. Her unique virtue is ferocious. Her affliction is rageful. They're pretty similar to other afflictions and virtues, but they have an additional chance that she might attack someone, or give them bleed, or give them rabies. In conclusion, the werewolf is a pretty good damage dealer. I paired her up with an antiquarian for Protect Me, and she did a lot of damage with her riposte. Beast allows you to self-heal when you need to, and Headbutt helps with delaying fights. Overall, I consider her to be pretty strong. I can't find any glaring weaknesses, and you could probably fit her into most groups. Unleash the beast within. Cut your enemies to nothing.
Precision and power.